Have you heard of someone say, it's in my genes, I can't help it, it runs in the family? For the last 50 years, science have been telling us a story, a strong, powerful, yet a simple one. Your genes control you, and DNA is your blueprint, and you are the result. The story spread from labs to the classrooms, into the movies, even into the courthouse. People started using this as an excuse to even justify their own behavior. But there is only one problem. It's not fully correct. World's top biologists have spent 60 years proving just this one point wrong. In 1956, a scientist named Francis Crick, the person who found out about the double helix, proposed what he called a central dogma of biology. It went like this. DNA makes protein, protein makes the structure, and structure creates the function, and the function creates the person to do its job. So it all flows one way, top to down, downward motion. So Richard Dawkins took this idea to the next level. He even wrote a book called Selfish Gene, according to which he argued that genes are the survival or the basic survival unit in the nature, and we are just the vehicles, and they use us to copy their DNA, which is technically what happens in every cell. It sold million copies. It was a very popular idea, and yet it was popular until our favorite scientist, Dennis Nobel, come into the picture and says, nope, this is not how the biology works. Here is what Nobel found, and the decades of physiology told us. So causation doesn't happen down from genes to the body. It goes both ways, up and down. For example, let us say when you're doing an exercise, your body sends a signal to the gene to make more muscle proteins. So now who is telling whom to do the job now? That doesn't end there. Second example, whenever you make proteins, 70% of the proteins actually fold into different structures based on where it is placed. The gene doesn't just generate one protein that fits for your daily activity. It just generates different things, but the same protein with the same structure can be used in different places based on what it needs to do. And who decides that? The body decides that, not the gene. And the basic thing is, if you want to call DNA as the basic unit, DNA cannot itself successfully replicate. And if you have not known, there's another video I'll attach in the link. DNA doesn't exist by itself. DNA needs life in order to replicate, and life doesn't come from DNA. DNA exists within life. Nobel called it biological relativity. No single level controls everything. Not the gene, not the cell, not the organ, not the body. It is a collective system that works simultaneously to help each other out. They all influence each other in every direction all at once. Here is the part that hits the hardest. In 1999, there was a Human Genome Project started that is decided to map the entire double helix. They announced within 10 years, once we were able to map all the genes, we were able to cure all the cancers and the diseases in the world. It's been 25, 26 years since. And in 2023, there was one study that published, even if we use all the components or epigenetic factors that are identified in the Human Genome Project, we will not be able to calculate if a particular person will be able to get cancer or not, definitely. So that means your body is not a simple machine. It is an organization that is working simultaneously to produce whatever you consider a person you are. Here is what you need to know. This is what is important to you. The environment shapes your cells, and your behavior changes your biology. And you don't have to think you're the person coded with the genes born at birth and you can't change at all. Your destiny is in your hand. Call it wishful thinking, but that's what the science says. If you like it, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.